75 cents per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,342 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $52, and the average price of Bitcoin is $14,182. Antiwar.com reports the U.S.-led coalition forces in Syria have announced their intention to create a new 30,000-man border fence in northern Syria along the border between Syria and Turkey. The force is expected to predominantly be Kurdish, but also include some Arab fighters. Spokesman Colonel Ryan Dillon confirmed that the inaugural class of border fighters, some 230 members, were already trained. There is no timeline on getting to 30,000, though in the past the U.S. has struggled mightily to achieve large numbers in such training efforts. Unsurprisingly, this whole scheme boils down to training and arming a heavily Kurdish force guarding what is ultimately Kurdish YPG territory. Turkey is furious, saying the entire enterprise is unacceptable. Turkish officials say they've already summoned a U.S. charge d'affaires in Ankara last week to protest the effort and are being increasingly public about their opposition to the idea. Recent history suggests Turkey's opposition to U.S. action in Syria will have no impact on them, however.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports undocumented immigrants can resume applications for protection under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival program after a federal judge last week blocked the Trump administration's plan to let DACA expire, according to immigration officials. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced Saturday it would resume processing the applications, though not for people who have never been granted protection under the program. On Wednesday, U.S. District Judge William Alsup said the Trump administration must continue to accept DACA renewal applications despite President Trump's decision on September 5th to end new applications and renewals and let the program expire March 5th. A memo from then Acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Elaine Duke said the agency lacked the authority to implement DACA because it was an executive order from former President Barack Obama. The judge said that reasoning was flawed because the agency and administration does have the authority to implement the program, which allows children brought to the country as undocumented immigrants stay and work legally for 2-year intervals. Trump and bipartisan members of Congress met Tuesday in an attempt to strike a deal to continue DACA while also funding a wall along the Mexican border. On Sunday, Trump expressed doubts over being able to agree on a deal. Trump tweeted, "DACA is probably dead because the Democrats don't really want it. They just want to talk and take desperately needed money away from the military." The lawsuit against the administration over its plans to let DACA expire was brought against the Trump administration by the regents of the University of California system and its president, Janet Napolitano. Napolitano served as Secretary of DHS under Obama from 2009 to 2013.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports at least 15 people were injured when a fire engulfed a boat off the coast of Florida on Sunday, causing the 50 people aboard to jump into the Gulf of Mexico and swim to shore. A preliminary investigation showed the fire broke out at about 4:17 p.m. Eastern Time from an apparent engine fire, according to the Pasco Fire Rescue. The 60-foot shuttle boat was on its way to the Sun Cruise casino boat a little more than 3 miles away in international waters. It had only made it about 100 yards from where it originated in Port Richey, about 30 miles north of downtown Tampa. After seeing the smoke, the captain prompted the 50 people aboard the boat to abandon ship and swim to shore. Some of the injuries were from being in cold water and from smoke inhalation. Several agencies, including the U.S. Coast Guard, the City of Port Richey Fire Department, and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, responded to the incident. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
California is reeling from Super Rainbow Percival, which left a trail of devastation along the West Coast. A luminous band of destruction touched down in Santa Barbara. Percival set a record as the most powerful rainbow in U.S. history, with at least 30 confirmed fatalities and damage estimates in the billions. The vividly saturated colors seared through homes and roads, charring everything in its path. Those exposed to the rainbow's fury say they're lucky to be alive.
The sky was completely blue. All of a sudden, it's filled with brilliant hues of red and indigo.
All I can say is when I was a kid, rainbows didn't cut people in half.
Meteorologists say that Percival is just the latest in a pattern of increasingly dangerous rainbows, and that they're only growing stronger as global temperatures rise. Percival also comes on the heels of some extreme weather phenomena overseas. Authorities in the Philippines are still searching for thousands in the aftermath of mega sunset Wilma.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. Welcome to Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever is on your mind if you want, and take control of the airwaves here on the radio, also online. And we've been online forever, but last week we started doing a couple of things differently than previous years on the show. We began broadcasting on Twitch, so now we got our video stream there, and that's been going very well. Actually, we had over the weekend, we crossed a certain threshold since it was our first week. Once you get X amount of hours in on streaming, then they will offer you, there's a couple other criteria, but they will offer you what they call the Twitch affiliate program. We can tell you more about that, but we got signups. We have subscribers now on Twitch. We got 10 of them over the weekend, which is just fantastic. So thank you to everybody who's done that. We'll tell you more about how to do that coming up here in moments. With you in the studio here tonight, it's Ian.
And Melanie.
And, of course, you can bring up anything that you want. We've always got news to talk about. The Vermont marijuana bill that is slated to be passed. The governor has said he's going to sign it. We'll tell you more about that on the way. Plus, will revenge porn purveyors be set as sex offenders in New Hampshire? There's a bill that's proposing that. I went and spoke against it at the State House recently. You can, of course, comment on whatever's on your mind. But to start things out here, Melanie, you had an outrageous-sounding story about a teacher in somewhere in the United States, I presume, that had instructed their students to do something fairly shocking.
Yeah, so this looks like it was a test. I can't tell if it was a test or just an assignment, and it doesn't say. So this fourth grade teacher at it's a private school, but
so
there's not really
that
they're not really. Actually, I don't know. Maybe this state has, I don't know, something like maybe vouchers or something like that.
Okay.
But I don't know. But I'm just.
So it's a private school teacher.
Yeah, it's a private school. How private it actually is, I don't know. Because it's at the Our Redeemer Lutheran School, so
that sounds pretty private.
Yeah, unless they're serious break-ins.
What was it that the assignment was?
So the question on this assignment is to give 3, quote, good reasons for slavery and 3 bad reasons.
Good reasons for slavery. Oh, okay. Because when you told me this before the show, you mentioned the good reasons, you didn't mention the bad reasons. So this is like a thought experiment, right? Where, they're supposed to take 2 different sides on things. I mean, it doesn't sound as offensive now that I know the whole story.
I mean, yes, it does.
Okay, tell me why.
Because so first of all, this wasn't at like a graduate level philosophy class. This was a 4th grade class.
True.
So that
it's important to start.
Really,
wait a minute. Is it ever too early to start critical thinking skills?
It is always too early to start justifying slavery. There is no there's not a single justification for that.
Well, I mean, there are justifications for it. I don't agree with them.
Okay, but, there's not a single good reason, as she put it.
Well, sure.
In the entirety of the universe.
There's not a moral reason for it, but, from the perspective of the people who own slaves, I'm sure they could come up with things that they thought were good about it.
People come up with reasons to justify whatever they want to do for absolutely anything, but that does not change the fact that there are no good reasons for slavery.
Okay. I agree with you there.
In all of time and space.
There are no moral reasons for slavery, but from the perspective of the person who owned the slaves, and this is a wrong perspective, there were reasons why they did that, right? Like, for them, they thought it was good to have free labor, which, of course, it wasn't free labor.
If your argument for anything boils down to because I want to, you don't have an argument.
All right, fair enough. I wish we could have seen the answers that the kids provided.
Well, we saw one because apparently they took it back to their parent, and the parent called the school, and they wrote on here, I feel there is no good reason for slavery. That's why I did not write.
Okay, good answer.
So then the parent...
Maybe it was a trick question. Maybe the teacher wanted to see if the kids would be perceptive enough to write that answer, because that's a pretty darn good answer.
Yeah. You really think that elementary school teacher, that's what they were trying to do?
No, I don't know what they were trying to do. I don't know what they were thinking.
So the parent rightfully complained to the school, and the school said they apologized, but said that their intent was not to make light of or justify slavery, which I don't see how that's possible, and would not comment on whether or not the teacher was disciplined. So
okay.
I'm interpreting that to mean that nothing happened to the teacher.
Maybe not, but that was them not commenting to the media, right? Not to the parent. It wasn't clear to me, at least in that case, what was happening there. Because if they weren't commenting to the parent, then...
that's unclear here.
Okay. Because if they weren't commenting to the parent about the reasons, then the parent could very well, I think, and rightfully so, be upset and say, well, look, if you're not going to tell me what you did to this teacher, I pay for this school, directly. It's a private school. I pay for this school. Yeah,
and she does pay for it because it's a private school.
Right. I pay for this school. I want to know. And if they don't, then you take your kid out. If they don't have enough transparency for you as a customer, you can leave, which is one of the nice things about
okay, but at the same time, if I run a company, and even if it's I 100% own this company, I have customers, I provide services, and I have an employee who thought that this was a good idea, unless I live in some state where it's illegal to say, which I doubt it, then if the media comes to me and says, so we heard that you have a employee that was publicly writing justifications for slavery, what happened to them? I'm going to be like, yeah, he's fired.
Oh, I agree with you. They should comment to the media. I mean, I think it's a good idea for PR's sake, but if anybody is owed an explanation, it's the parents in that particular case. Anybody who actually is a customer of that school who comes to them and says, what did you do? What, actions did you take? I think that they are definitely owed an explanation. I don't think the media is owed an explanation. I just think it's a good idea to comment to the media. And you don't have to get into details of exactly what the punishment was for the teacher, but I think you do have to get into those details if the parents ask for it.
I mean, so the media isn't owed information because information isn't non-aggression, but it's still... So all that means is that the media does not therefore have a right to do anything to the school for not giving information. If you publicly put out a paper saying that there are at least three justifications for slavery, and then don't redact that, and then refuse to speak on whether you did something to your employee who did that, I'm going to think ill of you.
Yeah.
And because that is the logical conclusion here. And they're saying that was not their purpose, but then they didn't say what their purpose was. I mean, if you got an explanation for this, I'd like to hear it because they're not given one. And the parent posted the letter from the school directly to her.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the school's response to her because she decided to publicize that. So no, there is no possible explanation for this. These kids are 9. I mean, no, you don't tell a 9-year-old. You don't tell anybody.
Well, let's get to, it just made me curious. I went to go and look here to see what would the internet say for the good reasons for slavery. Now, I agree with you. There aren't any good reasons for it.
You realize there's horrible people on the internet, right?
Yep. But these are the horrible people who actually were defending it back in the day. They argued that the sudden end to the slave economy would have a profound and killing economic impact in the South, where reliance on slave labor was the foundation of their economy. The cotton economy would collapse, the tobacco crop would dry in the fields, rice would cease being profitable.
Well, then I guess we don't need rice, because then what you're telling me is the market said we don't need rice. Okay, fine. We don't need rice then.
Yeah, and we hear lots of these kind of fear-mongering claims today about what would happen if we abolish, let's say, government ownership of roads or something like that. People believe that cars would be careening into one another, that the roads would be even worse decrepit shape than they currently are. There's always fear-mongering that gets thrown around when you talk about moving towards more freedom. And we'll give you some more of their fear-mongering points coming up here. 855-450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live, and you can join us here on the radio.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy.
DINOVITE.com. Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here toll-free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. If you want, you can bring up anything that's on your mind. Coming up tonight, we'll give you the latest on what's happening with marijuana legalization, the first state to do it through the legislative process. It's going to be our next-door neighbor, Vermont. Which, obviously I was hoping New Hampshire would be first, but that wasn't a realistic hope because New Hampshire has been behind the ball with the rest of the New England states on marijuana decrim, on medical marijuana. We're like the last to go. And so hopefully that's going to turn around. Hopefully we'll see that change soon, and maybe New Hampshire will be the second eastern seaboard state to legalize it through the legislative process. But the current governor is probably going to have to leave office before that happens. The good news is New Hampshire reelects the entire state government every 2 years. So he's already on his way out. This is his last year in this particular term, which is always nice because they don't stay around for very long here. So if you don't like it, if you don't like the governor, he's always up for re-election in the next couple of years. So it's Ian and Melanie in the studio here tonight. Of course, you can join us toll-free at 855-450-FREE like freedom. We've got Skype as well. Skype username is lrn.fm, and there's now the on-air call-in line in our new Discord chat at discord.lrn.fm, which, by the way, is apparently the #1 Libertarian Discord out there. Now, for listeners that are new to Discord, it's a voice and chat app. So you can chat via text, you can chat via voice, and there's different channels in there. There's one for Free Talk Live, there's one for Call to Freedom, there's one for cryptocurrency, gaming, general talk. So head on over to discord.lrn.fm. You can check that out. And we've just busted through 100 users in the Discord over the weekend, and many more coming in this afternoon. So I didn't know what was going to happen with it. Turns out a lot of people are very interested in the LRN Discord, so thanks to everybody who's in there. And again, if you want to try out that on-air call-in line, you're welcome to jump in, and we'll get you on the radio. Also, I want to let you know about Bitcoin.com. That's where you can go if you want to learn about Bitcoin and maybe get the latest news headlines. Maybe you don't need the basics about Bitcoin, but if you do, that's there. If you want the latest news, go to news.bitcoin.com and you'll get the latest information from across the world about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So once again, that's Bitcoin.com. Melanie, you brought in a story coming out of it was a Lutheran private school. Do you remember what state that was?
It was Wisconsin.
So in Wisconsin, Lutheran private school teacher assigned their students to come up with 3 reasons, and we're talking about 4th graders here, 3 reasons slavery was a good idea and 3 reasons that slavery was a bad idea. And so they decided they weren't going to be commenting to the media about this, which, as you pointed out, Melanie, they probably should have, because it doesn't make them look good if they don't come right out and say, yes, we've punished this person. Now, do you think that the teacher should be fired over this, or was this just a forgivable indiscretion that they should, just get a reprimand and say, shame on you?
Okay, so if one of my employees does this, which
if you're running a
it
school,
wouldn't be the exact same way, but if one of my employees, and I was going to have employees publicly or internally put out a document like this, they're gone. If if I had a babysitter, not because I wouldn't have like a 40-hour week babysitter, but if I had a babysitter who I found out did this, they're gone. So, I mean, from either
I think you're taking this way too seriously. I mean, I respect where you're coming from, and obviously you can run your business however you want to, but it certainly seems possible to me that this teacher was trying to have some sort of a, take both sides of the issue discussion.
Okay, but so usually when you do that, okay, so like, for example, in law school when they did that, they didn't take something that was settled case law and say, okay, argue both sides of it. They took something where there was a position on both sides and assigned that. So you're not going to say, I mean, even in law school, they wouldn't do that with slavery because
there was a position for slavery. It's an immoral position, but there is a position there.
There's not a moral position.
I didn't say there was a moral position.
Okay, so then there's not really a position because
there is always a position arguing to enslave people.
It didn't say what are 3 efficiencies of slavery. It said what are three good reasons.
There are always,
and there aren't any.
There are always people who have reasons to argue for controlling others. I mean, that's what we do here on Free Talk Live is we argue against those people 7 nights a week. You know, if they call in, there's going to be somebody out there who's going to take a position pro-state, pro-government, pro-force, pro-violence. I mean, we just had over the weekend one of our callers and former or sometime co-host Jay Noon called in to alert us that there's a state representative here in New Hampshire who moved here as part of the Free State Project that has now completely turned against libertarianism. And she is speaking out and attacking libertarians. I've actually got the quotes. I don't know if you've seen any of these things yet. You probably have.
I know that there's 2 people that were doing it. I don't know what exactly. I know they both voted for the quasi-income tax.
I had not heard that the other person had made similar comments.
I don't know what they said publicly or in Facebook, either of them, but I know how they voted.
Okay, yeah. Well, we know. Okay, so what happened was he called in to let us know that the 2 Free State Project participants who had moved here and successfully run for political office, who'd done it as Democrats, they had voted for what was being called an income tax, and it's not.
It's a payroll tax.
Yeah, I mean, it basically taxes the income of the person prior to them receiving it, and it's got to be imposed by the actual payroll department of the company that they work for. And it's a terrible idea. I mean, it's a terrible anti-freedom proposal, but they voted for it. And so that was the news that we'd heard. And then apparently, after being questioned, rightfully so, by members of the libertarian community up here, who helped these people get elected, by the way, who've supported their businesses and have supported them as individuals for a long time, they questioned them, saying, "Well, why did you vote for this? This is basically a tax on income in a state, by the way, that doesn't have a state income tax." I think it's worth pointing that out to listeners who may be unaware. And so anybody that proposes an income tax in New Hampshire usually just goes down in flames politically. It's like the end of your political career. Even many of the Democrats feel like they have to sign an anti-income tax pledge in order to even have a chance of getting elected here in New Hampshire. That's how hard it is and how difficult it's been for the advocates of the state to get an income tax passed. They've been unsuccessful over all these years, and they keep trying. So this is like a backdoor version of this, which even supposedly has a opt-out provision written into it. But one of these supposedly libertarian state reps actually came out against the opt-out provision. And so in the response to one person's question to one of these state reps, I've got a lengthy response here, and I'm going to read it because I think it opens up an interesting question. And we could talk more about slavery later, if necessary. Of course, you're welcome to call in toll free here and bring up anything.
Well, I mean, this is current. Slavery is kind of settled as far as I know, I hope.
Right. But again, we're talking, well, I mean, chattel slavery is settled, but we're all still enslaved to the government today. So slavery is still around. It's just bigger than it's ever been. You get to stay in your own home and take care of your own health and, take care of your own family and all that, but you still are enslaved to the state. You still are doing what the state tells you to do. You're still paying them the amount they demand from you. Just because those demands aren't as high as they were on slaves of old doesn't mean it's not slavery. So this woman has changed from libertarian into basically an advocate of slavery, and we'll give you her excuse for that, her explanation coming up here in moments. Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your family together with wholesome dinner options, even on the busiest of nights. Find dinner table ideas to bring your family together at letsfixdinner.com. To get kids involved in dinnertime conversation, ask specific questions, not broad ones. Instead of what happened today at school, try what was the best thing that happened today. The more specific you are, the more they'll have to say. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, so Skype on in at Skype username LRN.FM. We've got also Discord. You can get on our Discord at discord.lrn.fm, and there's actually a call-in line room in there that you can use to get on the air with us. We're talking about the change that this has happened to more than one person, shockingly, that has moved here to New Hampshire, because what we have, for listeners that are maybe new to the show, there's let's call it a New Hampshire freedom migration that's been going on here. There's different groups of libertarians who've been voluntarists and anarchists who've been coming here from all around the country and around the world, in fact. Melanie, you moved from Louisiana. I moved from Florida. People have come from as far away as Russia to move here for more freedom, because not only are you instantly more free by moving to New Hampshire from most places, but you have a greater chance of being more free in the future because there are libertarian activists like us who have been converging here for more than a decade, actually about 15 years at this point. And so it's been successful. Like, we've had this tremendous influx of liberty-minded people. They've gotten active. Many of them have run for political office. And now there's been a tragic occurrence of a libertarian who was elected to state representative who has now renounced libertarianism and further attacked her fellow supporters.
I don't know if you can say that Amanda flipped, because I have no evidence of her ever being a libertarian in the first place.
Okay.
Just because somebody moved to New Hampshire and, decided that the FSP was a good place to be immediately accepted does not evidence of their libertarianism.
All right. I guess I should find some of the old articles that I wrote about her back on freekeen.com. I'm one of the bloggers, as you are, Melanie, over at Freekeen, which is arguably one of the most popular issues blogs in all of New Hampshire. It's one of the more noteworthy libertarian blogs probably on the planet because we've been there for a decade. We've done a lot of reporting on the activism movement here, and that has included me reporting on Amanda Bolden and her activism. Which has largely been pretty libertarian over time. She started shire sharing.
Okay, that's not specific to libertarianism. So I'm not saying she's never done activism, but just because somebody's done activism does not evidence that they're a libertarian unless it's specifically libertarian activism.
Okay. What do you so like creating a charity that doesn't rely on the state, you're saying not libertarian?
I'm not saying it's not libertarian. I'm saying it's not specifically libertarian. There are people who are not libertarians that would be in favor of handing out food on Thanksgiving.
That's true, but the people who are behind shire sharing are largely the libertarians who moved here as part of the Free State Project.
Right, because that's who she had access to. That doesn't prove that she herself is a libertarian.
Well, this is an interesting claim.
I mean, she voted for Medicaid expansion 2 years ago.
She did, and she got a lot of heat for that, and basically her excuse at that time was that, well, it was going to pass anyway, so she had to do what was politically expedient for her, and that's a typical politician's excuse.
I could get that level of integrity from a politician. Like, I don't need an anarchist or a libertarian minarchist for that.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I can tell you this, having had talked to Amanda over the years, I had no reason to believe what you're saying, which is that you don't believe that she was ever a libertarian.
I don't know that. I'm saying I haven't seen it. Maybe there's...
You didn't know her, though, right?
I didn't know her personally. I've known her. I know that she flipped to the state. She flipped over a first possession misdemeanor marijuana charge.
Yeah, so
basically, which is a ticket here. You're going to get like a $500 ticket. Even before decrim, that was like a $500 ticket. So she flipped over a ticket.
She snitched on people, basically. She flipped
for a ticket. She wasn't facing time. Amanda Bolden flipped for a ticket.
She's not a brave person. She basically is a coward.
Then she shouldn't be smoking weed in the state house and in the driveway of other legislators.
I don't know if she was smoking weed at the state house.
Well, she was on recording telling... I remember it being the FBI, but you said you remember it being the state police.
State police,
whatever government agent she was telling them that she was smoking weed in the state house.
No, what they had was that was not what was said, if I recall correctly, because I did listen to the interview audio you're talking about. What you're referring to was a larger case about a guy who was a state rep named Kyle Tasker, who was investigated for ostensibly propositioning a teenage girl on the internet. Turns out he was actually propositioning an undercover police officer, so there was no teenage girl in that particular case. But regardless, they got a warrant. They searched his house, and when they searched his house, they found marijuana and mushrooms, and apparently logs, so a ledger of sales. And so in that...
By the way, don't keep a record of your felonies.
Yeah, it's a bad plan. But if you're going to, you might not want to put the actual people's names on there or whatever. But in this case, he had names of some state reps who were ostensibly purchasing cannabis from him. And they had found chat logs with Amanda Bolden, who was also a state rep, and she knew him, and they seemed to be somewhat close to one another.
Also, Facebook, not a good way
not encrypted. don't sell drugs over Facebook. Don't sell drugs over any kind of the unencrypted channels, and you probably don't want to even sell them over encrypted channels just in case somebody gets a hold of your phone and don't have a password on it or something
once
like
they get quantum computing, everything that is encrypted will now be unencrypted. So maybe don't do it there either.
They came after her and because they found her chats with him, and they had a lot of questions for her, and she did lay out the answers to those questions rather than keep her mouth shut.
They weren't talking to her about, and I don't know what happened before the recording went on, but they weren't talking to her about the proposition to the alleged underage person.
No, they were talking about the drugs.
She didn't know anything about that. They were talking to her about weed.
That's right.
The only thing they possibly had her on, which they really didn't have her on,
right? Because she would have had to admit
talked, was a simple possession first offense marijuana. That is laughable. That is
I agree with you.
A ticket. She flipped for a ticket.
Look, you don't have to convince me. I'll tell you, I'm the one who broke the news publicly about her snitching. If you go and search freekeen.com for the word snitch, you're going to find a very detailed article about what happened.
But my point is, we've known this for a while, so regardless of what she did or didn't do before that,
she can't be trusted.
So this is the quality of the person that we're dealing with. We're dealing with the quality of the person who voted for Medicaid expansion and who flipped for a ticket.
Right. We're talking about a coward, which is what most politicians are. So she is
But there's nothing to even be afraid of. It was a $500 fine.
I'm with you, dude, but we know a thing or two.
Afraid of what?
You're
most
not
cowards
a coward.
are afraid of something.
She was afraid. The excuse was she was worried about her kid. She was worried about them taking her kid from her.
She wasn't worried about her kid when she was smoking weed in Talacaster's driveway.
Well, no, she probably thought she was going to get away with it. But she was worried at that point that they were going to come after her child if they came after her with the criminal charge.
Well, if she's that worried about that,
but
then she shouldn't be doing things that would incriminate her.
I get what you're saying. And ultimately, she incriminated herself by talking to the police, which, had she kept her mouth shut,
they wouldn't have had anything on her. So
exactly.
A drug dealer has your name in a book. So what?
Right.
I can write anybody's name in a book right now and say anything about them. That is not evidence of anything.
So, all these things were some disappointing things about her. But regardless, a lot of the stuff she's done in the past has been very good. I've written a lot of positive things about her. Before the article about the snitching, if you go and you search Amanda Bolden on Free Keen, it's just glowing article after glowing article about Shire sharing or some of the other political things that she's done that have been pro-freedom. She was the one who got the Narcan bill put through here in New Hampshire that legalizes.
Didn't part of that bill involve funding?
No, it legalizes the purchase of Narcan for, basically so you can have it. And Narcan is a chemical that
I think there is more than one bill about Narcan, and maybe only one of them passed.
I don't know.
Okay.
But this is the one that legalized it. So she's done some good work, and she's done some pro-liberty work in the state house. It's just that she's not perfect, and many of the other state reps aren't perfect either.
But now she's gone. Not perfect. That's just evil human being. Those are two different
It's cowardice.
levels.
It's not evil. It's cowardice. More coming up here in moments. 855 450 free. But now she has completely repudiated libertarianism. Completely turned against us.
I think she was always just Democrat.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Markets went into a frenzy today after the price of money suddenly skyrocketed to $90 a dollar. Onion reporter spoke to economics professor Mark Cosgrave about the soaring cost of U.S. currency and the impact of increasingly unpredictable dollar-to-dollar rates.
Right now, money prices are steeply rising with no signs of slowing down. This morning alone, the price of dollars nearly tripled, with 1 cent worth approximately $6. That's exponentially higher than even a week ago when money was trading at roughly $53 on the dollar. To put it bluntly, we're now in the midst of a national economic crisis.
According to Cosgrave, the abrupt spike in dollar prices initially caused many Americans to hold on to their money, hoping that the $90 cost of dollars would soon dip back down. But as prices continued to climb, investors panicked and began purchasing as much money as possible.
But with the cost of quarters hitting $4.97 and the $5 bill jumping to a 12-year high of $372, the days when you could get $30 or $40 for just a couple of bucks are unfortunately long gone.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free here at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Of course, you can take control of the airwaves. We're going to go to your phone calls and thoughts about what you want. But I do want to let you know about the Blink Home Security System, which you can go and get one for yourself over at blinkprotect.com/FTL. You can get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys will charge you for 1 security camera. And it is just about the easiest thing you could possibly do as far as setting up a security system, because this is wireless. Normally, if you get a security system for your home, you got to be drilling holes, running wires. It's a pain in the butt. This, you just unbox it, you pop the batteries in the cameras, you put them where you want, and you set it all up via your Wi-Fi enabled device like a tablet or a smartphone. You configure when it's operable, when it's going to send you, clips of what happens in front of it, if it detects motion, how long those clips should be. Just go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL. We're going to continue. We'll talk more about the state legislator who is a Free State Project participant who has now completely turned against libertarians and is on the attack publicly. But first, let's go to your calls and thoughts here, because you can bring up anything you want. We got Ryan. He's on the line in Ontario, listening on Twitch. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, great. You're on the radio. Go ahead.
Oh, what's up? Dude, I love your show. It's so great.
Thanks. Go ahead with your thoughts.
And, I recently came across 6,500 Bitcoin. Believe it or not, 6,500 Bitcoin from the site called NiceHash. It's one of the best sites ever.
Called what?
And NiceHash. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, isn't that a Bitcoin mining kind of technology?
Yes,
well,
sir.
I don't understand how you just came across 6,500 Bitcoins from a website. Can you explain that?
Woke up one day, looked at my balance, and bam, 6,500 Bitcoin. became a millionaire that day. Changed my life completely.
Yeah, when was this?
Just the other day, actually.
Just the other day. You just happened to wake up and a website just happened to give you 6,500 Bitcoins.
And then you decided to publicly tell
Everybody
us, the
about it.
IRS, and everybody else that you
Oh, that's cute. Thanks for the call tonight. The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. If only getting 6,500 Bitcoins were that easy.
Well, no, because then that would just be inflationary.
Right, because then it wouldn't be worth millions upon millions of however many, I don't know, what's that, a few hundred million, couple hundred million right now? Anyway, toll-free number here tonight, if you want to join us, 855-450, free like freedom. So I get your skepticality here when it comes to Amanda Bolden, who's a Free State Project early mover. She's a migrant, supposedly, who moved to New Hampshire for liberty. You're saying you don't buy it. You think that she was always a statist.
I'm not saying that she was never a libertarian. I'm saying I don't have any evidence of that.
Okay, well, because Singularity in our chat room over at the Discord, discord.lrn.fm, makes a great point. He says, when you run an illegal agorist ice cream stand at PorkFest, which is the yearly camping festival the Free State Project puts on, and your freezer is painted yellow and black, which are the colors of the anarcho-capitalists out there, you might think that she wasn't a statist.
Okay, yeah, so the problem with that is, so if I go to a festival where I can make money and put insignia on my products that the people who I'm selling products to would like.
Yeah, but you understand, she's like living around these people. She lived here in New Hampshire. It lives here in New Hampshire.
A lot of people live around us.
She hung out at the Quill,
She hung out at the Quill when she wanted to make announcements, and that was the only time she ever hung out at the Quill.
Okay, I mean, I get what you're saying. You're saying she's been faking it. You're saying she was faking it the whole time.
According to her, because she's on video or on recording, not video. Sorry, telling the cops that the Quill is what did she say? It was.
She said it was not a pleasant place to be, or something like that. Some sort of, I'm paraphrasing, but she didn't like the Quill. But just because you don't like the Quill doesn't make you not a libertarian.
But it makes you somebody who doesn't like the Quill. So one of your things was that she hung around the Quill.
A lot of people don't like the Quill.
Okay, but
what I'm telling you is that she was integrated within the community here. Like, if there was some sort of indicator that she was actually a statist from the beginning, I think people would have picked up on it. It's not like she just showed up and got elected.
When she voted for Medicaid,
that was years after she moved here.
Okay, so
she was living here amongst the community of libertarians, many of whom are very good at sussing out a non-libertarian person who comes and hangs around.
There's all kinds of non-libertarian people who come and hang around.
Let me give you a little bit more information, since you are being totally critical of what I'm saying to you.
Of the person who flipped and the person who voted for
this isn't the first time. Look, this isn't the first time this has happened. If you go to freekeen.com, search for Will May. He was a blogger at Free Keene who flipped to turn into a statist. So, I mean, there's other people. A guy was named David Cruz, moved here to Keene, lived here for years. He was a conservative Christian when he moved here, and when he left, he was a socialist gay man. So, I mean, that
at least makes a little bit more sense, but
okay. I mean, it's a complete change from who he was when he moved here to who he became while he was here. He is no longer a libertarian at all.
Okay, and so maybe one day Amanda Bolden was a libertarian.
That's what I'm telling you.
But
everybody pretty much believed, you're being skeptical of this, but everybody that I knew bought in to the idea that she was a libertarian because she had a great story. Like, let me give you a little bit more background here. According to a post from freekeen.com going all the way back to 2012, this was actually a repost of a story from newhampshire.com, which is the union leaders' website, about the Free State Project and some of the participants. They interviewed Amanda Bolden. Quote, Amanda Bolden is a Free State Project participant who moved here from Dallas, Texas. For a brief time, she was a member of the Tea Party, but turned her back on that organization when she encountered what she described as irreconcilable differences with the party's ideals. Quote, I knew a couple thousand people that I shared values with were already here in New Hampshire, so I don't feel like an invader. I don't see how it's any different from people from Massachusetts moving here to pay lower taxes, and probably people from New York and New Jersey would do the same thing. Unquote. For Bolden, goes the article here, the idea of liberty is at the core of the Free State Project, and it's an idea that means different things to different people. Once people move to New Hampshire, or once members move to New Hampshire, quote, they pursue liberty however they find it suitable, said Bolden. She continued saying, quote, some members address the goal through politics, but not all. So there she is talking about liberty.
There is nothing substantive in that statement.
Wow. I mean,
except
I don't know why.
The fact that she was from Houston and then, or Dallas, whatever, and then
she
moved
supports
to New
liberty.
Hampshire.
She moved to New Hampshire for the Free State Project.
And then she said it means whatever you want. There is not a substantive statement other than where she lived and where she lives now.
No, it wasn't.
In that whole
that's not what
statement.
she said. She didn't say it means whatever you want.
She said it means different things to different people.
Yeah, what she was referring to is the idea of different approaches to doing activism. She's been a supporter of the inside the system approach, although she came out to Keene once when we had an illegal it was going to be a flea market that was unpermitted in Keene's Railroad Square, that at the time she was going to be one of the vendors. Now, the police shut it down before it even got started and threatened everybody with arrest, but she was there with her daughter, prepared to set up and sell illegal agorist underground-made ice cream. I mean, by all indicators, Melanie, and again, you don't know this lady, so you're just sitting there speculating like you know something about this, but you don't.
I didn't say she was never libertarian. I said and nobody is giving me any evidence that she was a libertarian. What I'm
telling you, we've interviewed her on this show multiple times. She sat, maybe not in this studio, but from PorkFest, we were live there at the Liberty Forum. We've had her on the phones here to talk about Shire Sharing and her personal story on why she moved to New Hampshire. She came from a conservative household. So she's had a change from being a conservative to a libertarian, and apparently now to rejecting libertarianism and embracing the left. So, I mean, I'm trying to just explain this to you, and you keep shooting me down like just because I don't have a huge roll of evidence to show to you.
You're giving me things that are she defended something when she stood to make money from it.
Yeah.
And she gave food to poor people. Like, that does not prove libertarianism.
I appreciate the cynicism, but I mean, it's cynicism to the max. You're basically throwing cynicism in the face of all the people who knew this lady and who were close to her. I'm not saying I was close to her, but there were plenty of people who were, that they didn't have any idea this was going to happen to her. So, and speaking of this, we haven't even gotten into what she has to say yet. So we're going to get into that. I've got this statement from her that explains why she is voting now in favor of basically an income tax in New Hampshire. This is a Free State Project state representative who has moved to New Hampshire as part of this organization of people that I believe are you a Free Stater, Melanie?
I signed the thing when I moved up here. I shouldn't have. I don't really go to any of their stuff.
Gotcha. Well, they don't really do much stuff. The Free State Project, they throw a camping festival once a year. They throw the Liberty Forum, which is their wintertime hotel event. And that's really the only two things that they do. But they were successful in getting a lot of people to move here, and she was one of them. And it's always just so sad to see any libertarian to leave the ideas of liberty and re-embrace the idea of coercion. But it is also instructional and interesting to find out why. And she does explain what her path was. Coming up here in moments, we'll tell it to you. And you can share your thoughts on Free Talk Live.
People search the internet for everything, including you. With a few clicks, information from your past can be quickly discovered, from business deals gone wrong to misleading reviews, negative articles, and unflattering images. Studies show 78% of people search for someone online before doing business with them. Will they find the real you? With ReputationDefender.com, you can establish a positive internet presence. ReputationDefender.com pioneered the field with over a decade of experience, serving thousands of successful individuals and businesses. We use patented, award-winning systems to boost positive content and suppress negative material. Don't let the internet define you. Take control of your reputation today with ReputationDefender.com. For your quick, free reputation analysis, call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, January 15th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.35 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,342 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $52, and the average price of Bitcoin is $14,182. Antiwar.com reports the U.S.-led coalition forces in Syria have announced their intention to create a new 30,000-man border fence in northern Syria along the border between Syria and Turkey. The force is expected to predominantly be Kurdish, but also include some Arab fighters. Spokesman Colonel Ryan Dillon confirmed that the inaugural class of border fighters, some 230 members, were already trained. There is no timeline on getting to 30,000, though in the past the U.S. has struggled mightily to achieve large numbers in such training efforts. Unsurprisingly, this whole scheme boils down to training and arming a heavily Kurdish force guarding what is ultimately Kurdish YPG territory. Turkey is furious, saying the entire enterprise is unacceptable. Turkish officials say they've already summoned a U.S. charge d'affaires in Ankara last week to protest the effort and are being increasingly public about their opposition to the idea. Recent history suggests Turkey's opposition to U.S. action in Syria will have no impact on them, however.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports undocumented immigrants can resume applications for protection under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival program after a federal judge last week blocked the Trump administration's plan to let DACA expire, according to immigration officials. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced Saturday it would resume processing the applications, though not for people who have never been granted protection under the program. On Wednesday, U.S. District Judge William Alsup said the Trump administration must continue to accept DACA renewal applications despite President Trump's decision on September 5th to end new applications and renewals and let the program expire March 5th. A memo from then Acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Elaine Duke said the agency lacked the authority to implement DACA because it was an executive order from former President Barack Obama. The judge said that reasoning was flawed because the agency and administration does have the authority to implement the program, which allows children brought to the country as undocumented immigrants stay and work legally for 2-year intervals. Trump and bipartisan members of Congress met Tuesday in an attempt to strike a deal to continue DACA while also funding a wall along the Mexican border. On Sunday, Trump expressed doubts over being able to agree on a deal. Trump tweeted, "DACA is probably dead because the Democrats don't really want it. They just want to talk and take desperately needed money away from the military." The lawsuit against the administration over its plans to let DACA expire was brought against the Trump administration by the regents of the University of California system and its president, Janet Napolitano. Napolitano served as Secretary of DHS under Obama from 2009 to 2013.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports at least 15 people were injured when a fire engulfed a boat off the coast of Florida on Sunday, causing the 50 people aboard to jump into the Gulf of Mexico and swim to shore. A preliminary investigation showed the fire broke out at about 4:17 p.m. Eastern Time from an apparent engine fire, according to the Pasco Fire Rescue. The 60-foot shuttle boat was on its way to the Sun Cruise casino boat a little more than 3 miles away in international waters. It had only made it about 100 yards from where it originated in Port Richey, about 30 miles north of downtown Tampa. After seeing the smoke, the captain prompted the 50 people aboard the boat to abandon ship and swim to shore. Some of the injuries were from being in cold water and from smoke inhalation. Several agencies, including the U.S. Coast Guard, the City of Port Richey Fire Department, and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, responded to the incident. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A man thanks God he's not sexually attracted to children, and Popeye's home is burglarized. Week in and week out, you come back like a housebroken Pomeranian, loyal to the bitter end. Good boy. This is the Onion Week in Review. Georgia's Cobb County Evangelical Hospital held its 5th annual Walk to Cure Gayness today, reportedly drawing thousands of participants to raise funds that would cure sufferers of their homosexuality and make gayness a thing of the past. Hospital administrators told reporters that funding from the walk would go into providing new state-of-the-art gayness treatment equipment, along with remodeling the hospital's physical therapy center, which has spent nearly 14 years reteaching gay men how to walk properly.
Oh God, I was a goner. But as you can see, I'm now happily married to a woman, and as of next month, I will have been in full remission for 2 whole years. I'm just so very, very happy. Everything's really good in my life.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever is on your mind. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Well, the fun is over in the LRN Discord. We had some trolls show up there in the last hour and post all kinds of pornography all over the place, and not in a way that was really appropriate. So,
is there an appropriate way to spam a thread with pornography?
No,
okay.
No. But if someone were to be in a conversation and post a picture, I wouldn't care. But they just posted a bunch of pornography all over the place, and it was clear they weren't there to have a conversation. So I had to swing the ban hammer for the first time in several days. It has not happened until now, and so I guess we're going to have to start handing out moderator badges, because once something becomes too popular, it gets a little crazy. So that's the LRN Discord for you there over at discord.lrn.fm.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't exclude people, Ian.
May not be safe for work. When did I say I wouldn't exclude people?
I was just making fun of you.
Okay. So, yeah, if you're going to cause trouble, you don't belong. So we were just talking about a state representative who is now excluding all libertarians from her friendships, apparently, here in New Hampshire. She moved here.
I thought she's been doing that. She blocked me 2 years ago.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, she's been, let's just say, since she's gotten elected, less than friendly to some of the people within the liberty movement, including you and me. But now she's on the attack against basically all libertarians. And we'll share with you her statement coming up here in moments. But let's go to your phone calls first. Jason is on the line in Sacramento, listening on Twitch. Jason, you're on Free Talk Live. Hello.
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
Hey, what's on your mind?
I just want to... Can you just look on the laptop behind you?
Yeah, we know what you're doing, man.
Take a look, bro. Take a look.
That's so funny. Thanks for the call. Except it's not funny. Anyway, apparently he's one of the people who is posting the constant stream of pornography to the channel. Anyway, we're going to continue with your calls here. We've got Abel on the line. Or, excuse me, Bad Slave is on the line with us here on Skype. Hello, Bad Slave.
I guess I go by both, but that's all right.
Okay, you're on the air.
Well, Amanda, I've known her since the very beginning. I think we ought to back charge her for the multiple moves that she involved us all in for free. And Because
what's this? Multiple moves?
Well, she moved many times. I don't know if you realize that during her stay in New Hampshire, and she always had a good team of.
She moved her house, is what you're saying. She moved.
Movers, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I was one of those, and
so you volunteered to help her move, which is fairly common with the for listeners maybe that are unfamiliar. The migration here to New Hampshire, when somebody arrives, they usually, if they got like a moving truck or whatever, they can put out notice and say, hey, we're moving to this location on this day at this time, and we need help. And like usually at least a dozen people, sometimes more than a dozen, like 2 dozen, will show up. Sometimes people you've never met before, and they'll move your stuff into your house, and it's done within an hour. I mean, it's an amazing experience. It's great because you get to meet new people your first day here in New Hampshire, many of whom will probably end up being your friends, which is it's a cool experience. And all you usually have to do is provide like pizza and some beer, and people will show up and help unpack a truck that probably took you 8 hours to pack. In like less than an hour. It's pretty impressive. And so what you're saying is this state representative who has now turned against libertarians, she has utilized the help of those libertarians on multiple occasions.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, when she moved, she had a husband. His name was Sam, and they ended up getting divorced. They lived up in Concord.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
They moved all over the place, and then she was a single mother, and so we all, shipped in, and what the heck? I haven't had any interaction with her lately. I did pay real close attention to the whole business of, her snitching on Trasker,
mm-hmm.
and I just thought that whole episode was just incredibly messy and unnecessary. And,
no doubt.
It's just I like Kyle. All right, I had interacted with him in the State House a few times, and there was really I didn't consider him to be any kind of a terrible evil actor. I doubt he would have done any great harm to whatever. I mean, you don't know who the heck you're talking to when you're going for somebody on the internet. Somebody
you're referring to State Representative Kyle Tasker, who is now in state prison for drugs and the ostensible contact of a teenage girl online, which turned out to be an undercover police officer. In that case, the details on that case were pretty interesting. He had a conversation with the 14-year-old girl online who was really a teenage girl, and she kind of rebuffed him and wasn't interested, and he went away. So he respected, her wishes in that case. And then somehow the mom found out about the conversation. Mom went to the police. The police came in. They took hold of the girl's Facebook account or whatever account it was, and they then, with their undercover officer, sent Kyle a message rekindling something that was never there, right? Like, so she had rebuffed him, he had gone away, he'd left her alone. They then sent him a message acting as though she was now interested, and then he, responded and tried to set up a meeting, and that's when he got busted. So he at no point ever was actually propositioning a teenage girl for sex. That never happened.
Right. And he was a native, I think.
He wasn't doing that before. I mean, so what was she telling him to go away for if he wasn't doing anything inappropriate prior to that?
He had, I think he wanted to, I don't think he asked her straight up for sex in that particular case, from my recollection of the case, but he was definitely, trying to get her attention or whatever, and she wasn't interested, so he had respected that until the cop came back in and acted as though that they were this girl.
Don't know who you're talking to on the internet ever.
Well, right. So, I mean, he knew who she was because they knew each other from real life.
Oh, did I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
So he knew who she was when she was really who she was, but when she was the cop, then he didn't know that.
Well, yeah, and I mean, for like the third time this show, don't commit felonies on Facebook Messenger. But, I mean, so that was really, previous to it being a cop, that was kind of creepy on Kyle Tasker's part. But that really has nothing to do with Amanda Bolden.
Yeah, that's just state
now
representative.
statism.
I think she got sucked into the snitching and all of that because of Tasker.
Right, but they didn't come to her asking about messages or any contacts with the underage person. They came to her asking about weed.
No, the cops, when they decided to go after somebody, they just go after them. And I mean, it doesn't really matter if there's any crimes there. They just go after them, and they're going to take anybody down in the process that they can to do that. I mean, it's this is what we're dealing with, and we have to reduce this kind of stuff. I mean, we've got way too many people in cages for no good reason. I say more than half of them up in prison are that way.
You know, because you were there for driving.
Yes, I was there for 13 months.
Driving while suspended.
Well, no, it was the habitual offender thing.
Same thing, though. I mean, that's what they hit you with after you've driven while suspended, a few times.
Right. I was exercising, my common law right to travel, which still exists, by the way, and they decided that I was driving, which which everybody says is a commercial activity.
You're going to love the new video that got posted over the weekend to the Free Keene YouTube channel. Check that out. It's State Representative Dick Marple proposing a bill to actually make it legal to drive personally in New Hampshire without a license. Of course, it's probably not going to go anywhere, but it was interesting to watch the proposal. Thanks, Bad Slave. We're coming up here. You can join us. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And bring up whatever's on your mind. This is Free Talk Live.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency but feel overwhelmed by the high price of Bitcoin? Or maybe you've used Bitcoin in the past, but were turned off by the high transaction fees and slow transfer times. It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital international money that you can send anywhere, anytime for less than a nickel. With Dash, your transactions can be instant and private. Dash offers a fully incentivized and decentralized peer-to-peer network where miners are rewarded for keeping the network fast, strong, and safe for its users. Start your journey at Dash.org. Since its launch in 2014, Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world and is showing no signs of stopping. Check out Dash.org for more information about Dash and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories, while I say these hobgoblins are imaginary. I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it.
Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM. This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM. This is the Liberty Radio.
This is Free Talk Live. Of course, you can bring up whatever you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So apparently, Melanie, the people that were flooding our chat channels on Discord, discord.lrn.fm is where you can go there. By the way, we are handing out moderator badges at this point. But the people who are flooding the chat channels with porn were trying to get us banned from Twitch. So the idea was, because there was a laptop on in the background that was on the camera at some times in the last segment, that laptop was loaded into the chat room. So when they were throwing a bunch of pornography into the chat room, in the corner of the screen of the video, you could probably maybe see something porny in those pictures. So somebody in the Twitch chat is claiming that we're going to be banned from Twitch. So I guess we'll see about that. The toll-free number here tonight's 855-450-FREE. If you want to join us here, we're going to continue. We'll take your calls about whatever you want. And we've actually got this statement from the state representative here in New Hampshire who moved here as part of the Free State Project. She absolutely seemed to be very, very libertarian when she moved here. And everybody had bought that about her. But she's had a change of heart. And we're going to explain to you why she's now joined the left and is repudiating and rebuking and attacking her former allies, her former friends within the Liberty movement. We'll share that with you coming up here. And again, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Want to let you know about Dash, though. It's digital cash, a digital money platform that's designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It is fast, it can be private and easy, fees are low, and transactions are quick and can be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized and run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. So join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. You can take back control over your financial future today and find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to Dash.org and you will find out why. So, toll-free number again, 855-450-FREE. When asked why she voted for this basically income tax, former libertarian, and people until this point had thought she was a libertarian still.
Well, then those people were really silly after Medicaid and the flip.
Well, I'm with you, Melanie.
I'm not saying in 2012. I'm saying in 2017.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that she was a coward for snitching, and It's inexcusable.
But what? She was facing a maximum sentence of $500.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Look, you and I, as I tried to explain in the last segment, we're not going to rehash this too much, but you and I have more experience in court and more experience with the police. I don't blame somebody for being a coward when it comes to being threatened by the state. That's what most people are going to do. They're going to throw their friends under the bus.
Most people are going to call a lawyer, and the lawyer is going to say
She had a lawyer.
STFU.
No, the lawyer was sitting there. I'm sorry, you don't know the situation very well. Her lawyer was Seth Hipple, and he was in the room for that interview.
There was no reason for her to talk to the cops.
I agree with you. There was no reason for it. But again, I'm just telling you that I can understand why people will try to save their own skin, or what they believe would be saving their own skin in a situation like that, where they don't understand what's going on and they're afraid and all of that. I'm not making excuses for what she did. I don't support it. I'm the one who called it out on the Free Keene blog and caught a lot of heat for that. Okay, so I'm not making excuses for it. I'm just saying that I understand why people take a plea deal, and I understand why people will, cut deals and throw people under the bus. I mean, I knew one guy who threw his own brother underneath a bus in a weed distribution operation. They were both working together, and he threw his own brother in and snitched on him. So you never know. But here's the response that she gave to somebody who had asked her, a local libertarian who had asked her, why did you vote for this income tax? Here's what she said. She says, I see the benefits of HB 628. As a young mom with few resources, I spent most of my 20s alone, poor, and helpless. My days,
yeah, well, then maybe don't do that, but yeah.
My days off went unpaid, disproportionate to others' experiences. When my child got sick, I went without at least a day's pay in addition to the out-of-pocket cost for her health care needs. Events like this set us back further than it would others. The deck was stacked against us. In the years that followed these experiences, I began to comprehend the damage that is caused when someone must choose between medicine and food, especially for their own child. The impoverished mindset is short-sighted by nature. There's little reason to plan for the future when the future is obviously so bleak. So it's understandable that financial planning is foreign to people who exist below a certain standard of living. So before we go on here with what she's saying, she's basically going and is making the argument here that, well, because some people
make horrible decisions.
Right, because some people can't take care of themselves or don't know how to handle their finances or make bad decisions or so on and so forth. Therefore, we all need to be forced to subsidize those people's
so this
living.
argument is the only argument I have ever heard Amanda Bolden make about anything, and it is the argument of because I want to, which guess what is not an argument.
Well, it's the argument of because it's hard and because poor people are not good with money. They'll spend their money on things like cigarettes and beer and, other things like that. There are certain reasons why people who are poor are that way, because they're bad with their money. And it's definitely true that these people have different priorities. Maybe they hate their life and they are trying to drown their sorrows in alcohol or whatever.
If your situation is such that you're having to choose between food and medicine, and that's your situation, and you, like she said, you have no resources, then maybe what you don't do is look around and be like, okay, let me look at my situation. What does my situation need? Oh, I know, a baby, another thing that eats and needs medicine. So you're making so I have absolutely no sympathy for somebody who starts from a position of no resources and then says, I need a kid. And then goes and acts on that. No.
Well, of course, a lot of people who have children don't choose to have the children. They end up getting pregnant because they needed to have sex, and so therefore
they didn't need to. You're not going to die.
They wanted to, and so they did. And they, whether they were protected or not, babies happen. And so, I mean,
the babies don't happen. So it's
they
like
sure do. Most of the people I know were
accidents.
Were accidents.
Most people, they're not accidents.
To tell people they're not going to have, they shouldn't have sex.
Accidentally have sex, and you didn't accidentally.
Yeah, but are you trying to tell people that they shouldn't have sex?
I'm trying to tell people that they should only take risks that they can afford to take, whatever that may be.
I tend to agree with you on that, but the reality is they don't. People do take risks that they can't afford to take. And
okay, so then why is that everyone else in the state's problem?
Well, it shouldn't be everyone else's problem, and a libertarian's solution to problems of people who don't know how to handle their finances is to offer help on a voluntary basis, to offer people assistance with budgeting, to offer people assistance with learning how to take care of their finances, and offer assistance with paying for whatever it is they need to get paid for, whether it's that medicine or that food. It can all be done on a consensual, voluntary basis. But somebody like Amanda Bolden has decided to reject that.
Voluntary charities sometimes insist that you act right before they just give you all this money, unlike the state.
That's exactly right. So we're going to continue here with her excuse, her reasons for leaving libertarianism behind. It's Free Talk Live.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Armistice Day was a day dedicated to world peace, a day to perpetuate peace through goodwill and mutual understanding. This sentiment was lost when Congress renamed the day in 1954, so antiwar.com is reclaiming November 11th as Armistice Day, a celebration of hope and peace. Antiwar.com has been battling the war party for 22 years and has always been on the cutting edge of technology in this fight, having accepted Bitcoin donations for 5 years now. Antiwar.com is diving deeper into the cryptocurrency movement by adding Bitcoin Cash, Dash, and Zcash to its digital currency donation options. And to celebrate, Bitcoin.com has pledged $20,000 in crypto matching funds through December 31st. Help Antiwar.com accelerate into the future with a cryptocurrency donation today.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Here tonight, it's Ian.
And Melanie.
We're sharing a sad, tragic story of a one-time libertarian who ended up getting elected. The power apparently went straight to her head, and now she is repudiating...
It's not even a lot of power.
No, it's not a lot of power, but it's instructive, though, isn't it, to show that even somebody who is elected to one of the weakest state representative positions in all of the country, there's 400 of them, arguably the weakest in the entire United States as far as power is concerned. But yet, and she gets paid $100 a year for that position, but yet she's completely repudiated libertarianism and has attacked the very same libertarians who had helped her move here. And then, as Bad Slave had pointed out, had helped her further move within the state several times, had helped her create a charity called Shire Sharing that we've interviewed her here on these radio waves, and I've lauded her for some of her activism in the past on freekeen.com. I mean, we've, given her plenty of publicity and attention for many of the good things that she's done over the years, and she's now kicked everybody under the bus, and we'll share her exact thoughts with you here in moments. But I also want to let you know about Anarchapulco, where there are going to be some real libertarians. In fact, Ron Paul is going to be there headlining the event, where they're going to be making anarchy great again with other great guest speakers like G. Edward Griffin, Jeffrey Tucker, Roger Ver, Larkin Rose, Jeff Berwick, Bruce Fenton, Brett Venat, Julia Taransky, Dana Martin, Juan Galt, Adam Kokesh, Kerry Wedler, Vitch Jedlika, and Sterling Lujan. You can also enjoy some great live music and parties and networking while you're there. The music including Jordan Page, Backwards, Rob Hustle, and more. It's all happening in about a month, February 15th through the 18th in Acapulco, Mexico at the beautiful Princess Resort right there on the beach. You don't want to be missing this. If you can get down there, join us because Free Talk Live is going to be there broadcasting from the event. You can use code FTL, like Free Talk Live, at anarchapulco.com to get 10% off of the regular ticket price. Once again, that's code FTL at anarchapulco.com as we continue here. So we had just started the explanation of what happened to Amanda Bolden, who is a state legislator. She was elected as a Democrat and now is acting like a Democrat full on rather than acting like a libertarian, which is what she was when she moved here. But let me go on here with her statement. She was talking about how hard life was as a single mother in her 20s. And she says, the impoverished mindset is short-sighted by nature. There's little reason to plan for the future when the future is obviously so bleak. It's understandable that that financial planning is foreign to people who exist below a certain standard of living. The problem with this mindset, though, is that it keeps the poor in a constant state of need whenever something unexpected should occur. I believe that HB 628 will get the neediest involved in future-minded thinking. And I am glad that it is being provided to everyone, regardless of income. So what this is it's some sort of it's some kind of tax that's happening at the company level that you work for, where the company takes like 0.5% and puts it into some sort of government program for I forget what it was, like Medicare or food or something. I forget exactly what it is. But the idea is it's supposed to help these, supposedly destitute and needy people. But she says it's going to be provided to everyone, regardless of income. She says those who are in a better position to contribute to the program can help offset costs for those at least prepared to pay in, or those least prepared to pay in. And, if all of this was voluntary, I wouldn't care. If there was some sort of program that people could donate to that can help people in need of financial planning, those things could and probably do exist in some places. I know that here in Keene, there's an independent homeless shelter that is open on the 100 coldest nights of the year. It's called 100 Nights. And they actually have a drop-in center where people can come in and they can, work on a computer and put together a resume, and they can consult with people on, getting a job and helping themselves out. It's not exactly the same thing, but it is an example of how the marketplace can provide things for needy people on a completely voluntary basis. Going on, she says, I'm disappointed about the opt-out option because I do think that this should be applied evenly to everyone. She says, I don't know if the program will be successful if too many people opt out.
Well, of course not, because people who have sense are going to opt out, and then the people who don't have sense aren't going to be able to support their own safety net / hammock.
It presumes that people would be aware of the opt-out in the first place. I know that she's worried about it, but the average person probably isn't even going to know about this program. They're just not going to make as much money, because this thing gets taken out. But then again, I haven't read the bill, so I don't know what all it entails. But here is she saying, she says, I hope to see an amendment to remove the opt-out. So the old Amanda Bolden might have made the excuse of, well, I voted for it because there was an opt-out provision, which would still be a terrible explanation. But in this case, she's not even trying that. She's just coming straight out and saying, I'm against the opt-out provision. I want to force everybody who has a job to pay into this government program. I mean, it is just absolutely sad here. She goes on. She says there is a misconception that poverty is sometimes the result of issues such as drug addiction and alcoholism, that someone might use drugs first and see their lives fall apart as a result. In reality, many people turn to drugs or alcohol to cope because they're already struggling with a dissatisfying life. And she's right about that.
Okay, so that paragraph was really silly because in her first paragraph, she explained the bad personal decisions that she made that made her in poverty, and it wasn't drugs or alcohol, so...
No, but she's right, though. As far as people with drug addictions, they're usually trying to cope with some sort of life that they don't enjoy.
Most people don't wake up and be like, my life is awesome, great wife, great kids, great job, my house is awesome. You know what I need? Yeah. Heroin. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So she's right about that. Hence, the fiscally conservative resistance to providing assistance to the most needy, in fact, fuels distasteful programs such as the drug war. This refusal to enable our neighbors to rise from their knees and onto their feet, this is what keeps our society sick. I think it's due time that we started investing in each other. Programs like Medicaid expansion deserve our support, enabling people to access drug treatment when they couldn't otherwise afford it.
Okay, well, that is completely ridiculous because there are all kinds of free drug treatment programs almost everywhere, so you don't need Medicaid for that.
You don't need force for this, which is what she's turning towards, which is the real disappointing aspect. Anytime somebody leaves libertarianism, for listeners that don't know, being a libertarian means you've rejected the use of aggressive force. You've embraced the non-aggression principle, the idea that it's not okay in any circumstance to threaten your neighbor, even if what you want to do with the money is a nice idea, like taking care of sick people or, whatever. It's still not okay.
I don't even know that this is a nice idea because you're setting up a system of, we already have the system, but you're adding additional perverse incentives to a system already of perverse incentives. It's not like this is even a positive thing in the first place. It's just a pile of negative things.
Well, I can understand, and again, I don't know what all the details of this program are. I was just talking generally about helping people who appear to be in need of help. Whether they're taking advantage of a system or not, that's a whole other question. But there are people out there who legitimately need to be helped.
A system that kind of, I guess, wants to, for lack of a better term, be taken advantage of. If you have a system set up, which is the system that is in existence now, where the more you mess up, the more help you get, then that's kind of a different thing than, this, one-off situation happened. Let's help this person. Those are two very different things.
That's one of the reasons I like the local homeless shelter, because they don't actually let the homeless, the independent one. There's like, I guess, 2 run by the government where the homeless can just live all year round. They just have their own room. They can just live in there or whatever. But at the 100 nights, they're only open the 100 coldest nights of the year, so only during the wintertime. And they kick everybody out in the morning. So there's no space for you. You don't get the same bed every single night. You get to spend the night there because you might die if you don't. And then at 7 a.m., everybody is out the door and they got to go do whatever it is they do with their day. If they need resources, they need to write up a resume or whatever, they can do that in the drop-in center. They need to warm up a little bit, they can do that in the drop-in center, but they don't get a permanent place for themselves. And that helps keep people moving. It helps keep people wanting to make their life better. And so it's those voluntary solutions that libertarians support. Unfortunately, this state rep that we're talking about is no longer a libertarian. We'll tell you more. Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want right here, toll-free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Melanie.
And also want to let you know about some of the cool features on our website, including the new Twitch live streams that we've been doing. It started last Monday, so it was a week ago that it was our first time on Twitch, and it was some of our listeners who had asked us to stream there, and then once YouTube decided to unceremoniously cut our feed last Sunday night, I decided, well, now seems like a good time to start looking at other options, and Twitch seems like a good one now that they have expanded out from just being a pure gameplay, video gaming, streaming website, there are now other categories on Twitch like talk shows, which is the category that we are in. Although I am investigating what it might take to actually have LRN hosts play video games on the Twitch feed, because Johnny Ray, our Sunday night co-host, is a big-time gamer, and he said he would be willing to do it. So I've got a video capture card on order right now on saveitpurse.com, trying to get 15% off of that by paying with Bitcoin, and you can try that too over at saveitpurse.com. But so once that arrives, hopefully within the next week or so, we'll be able to test out some actual video game streaming whenever we're not doing live radio shows. So that could be pretty cool. If you haven't checked out our Twitch channel yet, you can go to twitch.lrn.fm. That'll take you right to the LRN FM Twitch, and you can follow the channel, which we actually already hit like 70-something followers just in the last several days or in the last week. And we just started having the ability for people to subscribe to the channel. So what that means is once we reached a certain threshold, I think it was 50 followers, and like we had to do a certain amount of hours of streaming over a number of days, which was easy for us because we're on every single day. And so we crossed that threshold. We became a Twitch affiliate, which means that Twitch will cut us a portion of the revenue that comes in from the subscribers. So let's say you like what you're seeing on the Twitch channel, and you could, of course, support us in other ways, like the AMP program. We'll tell you about that later, and then more of the money that you spend goes to us. But in the case of Twitch, it will remove most of the advertising from the channel. Apparently, they put their own ads in there to monetize their platform. But since you're paying them, they don't put the ads in front of you, according to what I was reading. Although it says, it's weird. They say ad-free, and then there's like an asterisk next to that. And then when you go and you read what the asterisk says, it says like mostly ad-free or something like that. So I'm not sure what ads you still see if you're a subscriber. Maybe some of our Twitch chatters can explain how often that happens. But you get the ad-free thing, and then there's some other perks and some benefits to that. You'll get a special rank on the Discord that we have now if you're also in our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. But what happens is Twitch will cut us half of the revenue from those subscriptions that come in. And the other aspect about that is if you already have Amazon Prime, Twitch is owned by Amazon now. They bought them within the last year or so. And a lot of people have Amazon Prime because they want to get the free shipping. Right, you get the free 2-day shipping. That's the big perk. But they also throw in extras. So like the Amazon Prime people get free access to the Amazon Video service. They get apparently also one free subscription that they can use on Twitch. So if you haven't yet used your subscription, or maybe you already have but you want to move it to us, you can do that apparently. You can just go to twitch.lrn.fm, and then you pull down the subscribe menu, and then there's the Twitch Prime option, which you choose, and it'll link up to your Amazon account, and you will be able to support Free Talk Live with something that you may not have even known that you had. It's basically free revenue for us, and it costs you nothing extra because you're already paying for your Prime subscription. So it's basically Amazon cutting us a small portion of your monthly Prime subscription. Pretty cool. So once again, check it out over at twitch.lrn.fm. We've got the rest of the story here from Amanda Bolden, who was a libertarian darling for a long time. She had created a charity here in New Hampshire. She moved here as part of the Free State Project. She was feeding hundreds of families on Thanksgiving here in New Hampshire, the Shire Sharing Charity, which we've interviewed her about a number of times, getting her, personal story of how she ended up coming to move to New Hampshire as part of the Free State Project. And then she got elected as a state representative, and the power apparently went straight to her head. Not even libertarians are not immune from that happening to them, because power does corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Even a tiny little state rep seat, 1 out of 400, apparently has corrupted her. Let's go on, though, with why she is now embracing the state, why she is now against libertarians. Here's the rest of her claim in a response to a question as to why she's supporting basically a sort of behind-the-scenes income tax. She says, growing up in conservative Texas, in a relatively well-to-do entrepreneurial family, I lived in a bubble of people assuming that success could come as easily to others as it had come to them. But a person's belief system tends to crest in their 30s, which is where I now find myself. During the last couple of years in the legislature, I've been exposed to new ideas, new people, and new literature that I didn't experience when living in the fiscally conservative echo chamber of both Texas and the New Hampshire, and she puts this in quotes, liberty circles. So the word quotes, or the quotes were around the word liberty there. Through my relationship with Andrew, who is now my husband, I came to reconsider a lot of my beliefs. I do not believe that there is anything to be gained by allowing humanity to suffer. Now, I'm just going to stop there for a moment because what she's using here is the same old excuse that you hear from a lot of people who, and there aren't a whole lot of these folks, but there are. I can think of at least a handful of people that have moved to New Hampshire as part of this libertarian migration and then became very unlibertarian, and thankfully most of them left. But she's the first one who's like standing strong, and she's in the state house, and she's now flipped against the libertarians, using the claim of, well, there are people who just can't take care of themselves. There are poor people who don't have good financial habits, and so therefore we need to force everybody to help these people. And again, a libertarian rejects the use of aggressive force. If there's a good idea, and I don't think it's a bad idea to help people. I donate to the local homeless shelter, the local independent homeless shelter. I send them a monthly donation. I donated to their auction that they did in the holiday season as well. Donated a percentage of a Bitcoin for them to auction off. So I've long time been a supporter of private charity and helping people out in voluntary ways. And the fact that she could just leave behind voluntarism, the fact that she could leave behind libertarianism and embrace violence, because she's saying, don't allow humanity to suffer. Well, guess what creates the most suffering out there? It's the force of the state, the bombs of the United States government, killing innocent people around the world, the pollution of the United States military. I mean, there's just so much evil that the state does, and it uses force to fund itself. The suffering, what about the suffering of the people who are going to be threatened with violence if they don't want to go along with this particular program that she wants to pass? Do those people's suffering not matter to her? Going on here, she says, further, it seems foolish to suggest that taxation causes more pain than is caused by living without some very basic tools, such as food, shelter, and health. I'm sure you can understand that people... Well, let me go on here with another interruption. The very same government that she supports is the very same government that has gone around and thrown homeless people out of camps. Here in Keene, when I first moved here, a few years after that, there was an issue with a homeless camp on a piece of property behind the Hannaford supermarket here. The Hannaford's owner, or the supermarket property owner, that guy that owns that land, he was okay with the homeless people there. He knew they were there. He welcomed them to set up their camp on his property, because better to have them in the woods somewhere, you know, living in a shanty or a shack or whatever it is, or a tent, than to, you know, have them walking around all over the place or sleeping in an alleyway. So, you know, and I don't know what his rationale was. It's his land. He can use it however he wants. Well, he should be able to, but unfortunately the government came after him, and they came after that plot of land. They sent like housing inspectors in there to inspect a lean-to, basically, that these homeless people had created, and said, oh, well, this isn't up to code here. We're going to need you homeless folks to bring this building up to code, or else we're going to have to tell you we're going to arrest you if you stick around. And so, you know, again, it's the government that's causing those people pain and suffering. So to turn to that very same state, to turn to the very same tools that you had once rejected as a libertarian, what an embarrassment. What a sad thing to have happen. And she's got more that she's going to say here in moments, because she hasn't yet attacked the liberty movement here. She did put liberty in quotes earlier, but she's going to come right on out, full guns blasting on the freedom movement that encouraged her to move here, that helped her move here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE-LIKE-FREEDOM. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves, and you can bring up whatever's on your mind. We got hour number 3 on the way. Also, we've got Skype. Skype username is LRN.FM. This is Free Talk Live.
It's It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, January 15th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.35 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,342 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $52, and the average price of Bitcoin is $14,182. Antiwar.com reports the U.S.-led coalition forces in Syria have announced their intention to create a new 30,000-man border fence in northern Syria along the border between Syria and Turkey. The force is expected to predominantly be Kurdish, but also include some Arab fighters. Spokesman Colonel Ryan Dillon confirmed that the inaugural class of border fighters, some 230 members, were already trained. There is no timeline on getting to 30,000, though in the past the U.S. has struggled mightily to achieve large numbers in such training efforts. Unsurprisingly, this whole scheme boils down to training and arming a heavily Kurdish force guarding what is ultimately Kurdish YPG territory. Turkey is furious, saying the entire enterprise is unacceptable. Turkish officials say they've already summoned a U.S. charge d'affaires in Ankara last week to protest the effort and are being increasingly public about their opposition to the idea. Recent history suggests Turkey's opposition to U.S. action in Syria will have no impact on them, however.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend a Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend a Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports undocumented immigrants can resume applications for protection under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival program after a federal judge last week blocked the Trump administration's plan to let DACA expire, according to immigration officials. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced Saturday it would resume processing the applications, though not for people who have never been granted protection under the program. On Wednesday, U.S. District Judge William Alsup said the Trump administration must continue to accept DACA renewal applications despite President Trump's decision on September 5th to end new applications and renewals and let the program expire March 5th. A memo from then Acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Elaine Duke said the agency lacked the authority to implement DACA because it was an executive order from former President Barack Obama. The judge said that reasoning was flawed because the agency and administration does have the authority to implement the program, which allows children brought to the country as undocumented immigrants stay and work legally for 2-year intervals. Trump and bipartisan members of Congress met Tuesday in an attempt to strike a deal to continue DACA while also funding a wall along the Mexican border. On Sunday, Trump expressed doubts over being able to agree on a deal. Trump tweeted, "DACA is probably dead because the Democrats don't really want it. They just want to talk and take desperately needed money away from the military." The lawsuit against the administration over its plans to let DACA expire was brought against the Trump administration by the regents of the University of California system and its president, Janet Napolitano. Napolitano served as Secretary of DHS under Obama from 2009 to 2013.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports at least 15 people were injured when a fire engulfed a boat off the coast of Florida on Sunday, causing the 50 people aboard to jump into the Gulf of Mexico and swim to shore. A preliminary investigation showed the fire broke out at about 4:17 p.m. Eastern Time from an apparent engine fire, according to the Pasco Fire Rescue. The 60-foot shuttle boat was on its way to the Sun Cruise Casino boat a little more than 3 miles away in international waters. It had only made it about 100 yards from where it originated in Port Richey, about 30 miles north of downtown Tampa. After seeing the smoke, the captain prompted the 50 people aboard the boat to abandon ship and swim to shore. Some of the injuries were from being in cold water and from smoke inhalation. Several agencies, including the U.S. Coast Guard, the City of Port Richey Fire Department, and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, responded to the incident. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
In a dramatic scene last night, a coalition of the nation's damaged women staged a drunken, tear-soaked march on the Capitol just after 2 a.m. Jane Carmichael has more.
Thank you, Brooke. The damaged women began their protest yesterday afternoon, marching on the National Mall at about 4 p.m., and then marching away furious, saying they were done with Congress once and for all. But then they came back again late last night, insisting that someone in Washington listen to them for once. The late-night protests started with tearful apologies, but quickly moved to anger as marchers demanded that Congress pass a bill making it illegal to say you love someone and then up and leave as soon as there's one little problem.
Why are you ignoring us? Stop ignoring us! Why don't you hear me when I talk to you? Wipe the smirk off of your face. No, come back! Come back because we think that we want you to care about us!
I don't need to pay a therapist to tell me I'm unhappy! I know I'm unhappy!
This is the Onion News Network. Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. Of course, you're invited to join us here on the radio waves. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Here in the studio with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Melanie.
We have been talking about a sad story, the fall from libertarianism that a state representative here in New Hampshire who moved as part of the libertarian migration, the Free State Project in her case, and made a big name for herself in the community. A lot of people knew. I mean, there's 2,000 people that have moved here for the Free State Project, at least. I haven't checked their numbers in quite a while, but that's what it was like a year or two ago. And so a couple thousand have moved, but most people aren't household names. Amanda Bolden is a well-known person within the Liberty movement here, and she earned that reputation for herself by creating a voluntary charity to help feed hungry families during the Thanksgiving season called Shire Sharing, which we've interviewed her about many times. I've written many positive articles about her. and some of her activism that she's done here over the years over at freekeen.com. And none of that kindness apparently paid off whatsoever, because now she's about to kick libertarians under the bus. We're reading a post that she made to Facebook publicly, responding to an inquiry as to why she'd supported what's basically tantamount to an income tax. I mean, I don't want to get into exactly what the bill does, but it's sort of a behind-the-scenes thing that the businesses are going to be forced, if this thing passes, to withhold like 0.5% of somebody's paycheck and then send it off to some sort of New Hampshire government program that's supposed to help needy people or something like that. And again, I got no problem helping people who need help, but I don't think the state is the way to do that, because the basis of the help is always based on coercion. And essentially what she's saying here is that she doesn't believe that there's anything to be gained by allowing humanity to suffer. She says it seems foolish to suggest that taxation causes more pain than is caused by living without some very basic tools such as food, shelter, and health. Now, I'd like to point out that there are charities that can help with all of those things. Here in Keene, New Hampshire, a little town of 23,000 people here in southwestern New Hampshire, there's a food kitchen. There's a food bank where people can donate food to them, and they do. And people can go there and get food, and they do. Now, whether you agree with that particular, setup and how their thing is run, that's another question. If you don't like it and you can do it better, then please, do that. But they've been doing a good job of helping hungry people for quite a long time. Nobody in Keene, New Hampshire is starving. Nobody anywhere in New Hampshire or anywhere probably in the United States is starving. If you're in Venezuela, you might be starving, because that's the, end result of the continued use of an institutionalized coercion, is you end up with actual starvation. You end up with actual loss of food imports and things like that, which is what they've been experiencing down there. And we're not going to get into detail on Venezuela tonight, but I do have a story about people in Venezuela being seen actually running up to like animals just on the side of the road and slaughtering them. They're just so desperate for food. It's gotten pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's not really a problem here. I mean, even at minimum wage, you might not be able to afford health insurance anymore because, they raised the price of that with the ACA. But you could still afford to, so if you don't have any major health issues, which most places have discounts or clinics or stuff like that, you can afford, rent, food, basic necessities.
You might have to rent with a couple people.
You probably aren't going to be living in Keene, New Hampshire necessarily, but there's going to be a place you can rent that you can afford, and you're going to have, you have that anyway if you're working. Now, if you try to do that with 5 kids, you're not really going to pull that off, because it's stupid to have 5 kids if you're in that position.
Yeah.
So,
which, of course, the government incentivizes with their welfare programs.
This isn't even an issue that exists. We don't have real poverty in this country. Like, poverty is not, oh, well, I only have, one bedroom apartment instead of a 2 Poverty is like things that can kill you if you don't have them. Like Venezuela, that's poverty. We don't have that issue here.
No, she's way blowing it out of proportion. But then again, you can't deny some people have had a tough time, and she claims she had a tough time as a single mother.
She also told me why she had a tough time and what bad decision led to that tough time.
Yeah. And again, just because you made bad decisions doesn't mean that everybody should be punished with government aggression, which is what she's talking about doing here, is turning to the state to try to solve these problems.
And she talked earlier in that post about her wealthy parents. So if her parents were so wealthy, why was she having this tough time?
Maybe she had a falling out with them or something like that. I don't know about that. I don't want to speculate. But I think it's interesting that, in this case, you've got this lady who was a libertarian. She would have called herself probably an anarchist at some point. She was very libertarian, now joining the left. But it doesn't just go to where they go to the left. You look at somebody like a Chris Cantwell, for instance, who was a host on this very show, who ended up joining the alt-right. So he's gone off in he's become a white nationalist now, and nobody had any idea that he had those beliefs when he first moved here to New Hampshire. So I can think of people who've gone to the left. I can think of people who've gone to the right, and it's just sad because basically it all comes down to the same thing. This lady, Amanda Bolden, and Chris Cantwell, they went in 2 different directions politically, but they also both went in the same direction. They went in the direction towards the embracing of the use of aggressive violence to achieve the society that they have envisioned. And that's the difference between a statist, a person who believes in the government and wants to use it to achieve their goals, and a libertarian, somebody who has rejected the use of aggressive force to achieve their goals in life. The difference is these people who supposedly were libertarian but then turned from that, they just couldn't envision whatever it is they want society to be. In Chris Cantwell's, it's some sort of white paradise. In hers, it's helping all the needy. They couldn't envision a way to accomplish it without the use of force, without the use of aggressive force behind them. And that's sad because libertarians, we say, look, even if you can't see a way to do it, aggression is not the solution, because aggression always creates unintended consequences that in a lot of cases are sometimes the opposite of what your intended solution was. You end up creating more poverty by trying to have a war on it, for instance, like the government has done. And we can point to so many different examples of this, but ultimately it's that fundamental belief of we believe that peace is the way. We believe that leaving people alone and letting the market decide these things is the best way to do it. It's not only the most moral way, but it's also the most efficient way and the most effective way. But these people have rejected that, and they have embraced the idea of threatening their neighbors to try to get them to behave in the way that they want to. And I'm here to tell you that that is never going to work. It may appear to on the surface, but it's ultimately never.
If you create a state, it's not going to be the state of Amanda Boland. It's going to be the state of 300 million people.
Yeah.
Or maybe
or
whatever, however many people are on top. Even in the New Hampshire legislature, the state of 400 people plus the governor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you could just create a state and have it do what you want.
Right.
It's kind of this, not self-autonomous, strictly speaking, but kind of operates as a self-autonomous entity. Once you create it, it's run by other people that you have no control over. So you can't really ever accomplish... Like, okay, so she wants a state to, like, feed single moms. Like, okay, but it's also gonna, like, first of all, it's not, we can argue about even the merits of that. But then, second of all, so it's not gonna just do that. It's also gonna bomb people.
Yep.
It's also gonna have the drug war that she's talking about.
That's right.
So you can't just create the state of feeding single moms. It's also gonna kill people. It's also gonna have a military. It's also going to have, licensing regulations.
And she'll never be in control of all of it.
And Amanda Boland in, Concord, New Hampshire is not going to be the supreme dictator of the United States. I'm sorry.
She goes on to say here that she says, I'm sure you can understand that people and their beliefs evolve over time. Well, Amanda, yours have devolved because you used to believe in rejecting force and now you've embraced
evolve doesn't mean get better.
Okay,
well,
I like to think
change.
That it does. And that you can respect my decision on this bill, past bills, and future bills. On another note... And this is where the attacks come out.
Oh, so I hope you can respect me, F you. It's pretty much what she types.
We're going to get you the F you portion coming up here in moments. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. A sad story of a state representative and former libertarian now turning against the very people who helped her get where she is. More coming up here on Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown, not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
If you're looking for work, it's a process of elimination, and you're trying not to be eliminated. So here's a tip for making the cut, and this might seem subtle, but to the person interviewing you, it's not. There is a world of difference between applicants who convey, "I need a job," and those who simply ooze, "I want to work," especially in these lean times when many you're competing with will seem desperate in "I'll take anything" mode. If you convey specific interest in this job at this company, you will be conspicuous. Thus, the value of going to school on the company you're applying to before the interview. With money and attention so tight now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us on the radio here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Unlike some unprincipled people, Melanie is so principled, she calls herself an anarchist. So she's totally against the government, but yet she works within the tax preparation sphere. And you are a real anarchist who can help our listeners save on what they are going to otherwise pay to the government. You can help them maximize what they get back or what they don't pay out in the first place, right?
Yes.
And what other things can you do besides that? You can do bookkeeping, taxes. How else can you help folks?
Yeah, so bookkeeping, which is pretty much really just tax planning if it's done right. Then tax forms for personal, small business, quarterly if you have that. That's pretty much what there is. So.
And you can consult with folks who want, your help. That maybe their taxes have gotten a little too complicated, or maybe they're tired of their existing accountant and they want to hire a real anarchist to take care of their taxes. You can do all of that. And as soon as I think you were telling me before that as soon as all the forms come into you is when you should reach out, right?
Yeah. So unless you have something really complicated, but you're also waiting on like a 1099, then maybe contact me sooner. But as a general rule, as soon as you get all of your paperwork, then we can start on it.
So you can reach out to Melanie through tax.freetalklive.com. That will take you to her website where contact information is available. You consult via what? Phone, video chat?
Phone, if you're local, in person, video, Signal.
Cool. Different options for different preferences. Get in touch with Melanie if you want a real anarchist doing your taxes for you and helping you out versus the federal government. Do you do state income tax stuff too, or is it just Fed?
Yeah, there's a couple of states that I'm not authorized in. New York is one. No, New York I have. California is one I can't do.
Oh, really? Okay.
I got authorized in New York, and then there's two weird ones that I don't remember what they are, but those are on my websites.
Okay,
and
cool.
So generally, yes.
Tax.freetalklive.com. Go visit Melanie's site there. That's TAX, tax.freetalklive.com. All right, before we get back to your calls here, I do want to get to the very end of this statement because it's just, I think it's interesting to whenever somebody falls away from the libertarian mindset, because I think a lot of people in the libertarian mindset, believe that it's just such a self-evident idea of like, hey, don't hurt people.
Yeah, that was like the thing that confused me the most when I first heard of the non-aggression principle. I was like, oh, this is so obviously
Too simple, right?
And I was like, oh, people must want to hear this. So I decided I was going to go tell some people about it. And they were like, go away. And I was like,
you're crazy. You don't want to hurt people. That's what we do. We always try to hurt people that don't agree with us.
So it kind of took me a little while to like realize that that's not like the most important thing in everybody's life.
Sure.
And I wasn't even an anarchist then. I was like barely a minarchist. I still had to work through a lot of stuff, but yeah, everybody doesn't value it as value is subjective, I guess.
Yeah,
so
but I mean, but it's one thing to look at the rest of the population and say everybody doesn't value it, because that's obviously true. Not everybody values everything. But when you look at people who've decided to embrace that idea, the people who've looked at the question of, should I agree with the idea of not threatening my neighbors? Yes, I do agree with that idea. That's a good idea. The non-aggression principle is a moral principle. The people who have adopted that for themselves, we all seem to, we go around thinking this is such an immutable concept that it's just so good. And then when somebody who purportedly understands it then turns around and re-embraces the idea of using aggression against people, it's always just a shocker.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's sad if nothing else. And
it is sad.
To me, it's like the most valuable thing that I have. But I mean, I've met other anarchists and they were legitimately anarchists, but it's just not the most important thing they had going on in their life. And that kind of astounds me. But I mean,
well, it's one thing to not make it the most important thing to you, like you're not promoting it all the time or whatever, but you could still live your life by non-aggression. You can still believe in non-aggression. Most people aren't going to make it the most important thing to them. They're going to, find other things that are more important, but they'll spread the ideas when they can. But to have somebody turn away from it is always just interesting. It's very rare, and it's very rare when it's done in a public way like this. But this is the most public, I would say, example that we've had here in New Hampshire, because as I said, I can count a few, but most of them weren't very public. They were just people who moved here and then dropped the ideas of liberty and then left. And I can't think of much more than a handful of them over the last decade. I'm sure I don't know of all of them, but just, the people
but
that
if you haven't heard of them, then that probably means they weren't public. So
right. The people that I've experienced, the people that I've known. And so this is the biggest one, and now she's going to turn her guns against the liberty movement. She's come out and said that she's embracing the state because she doesn't believe people can get help without having others threatened with violence, which is what she's now embraced. So here's the end of her statement that she made on Facebook. On another note, it's my understanding that some free staters, and by the way, I didn't log into Facebook to get this. Somebody sent me the message.
Just so that we know, Ian has not relapsed.
I actually have gone on Facebook like a few times since the beginning of the year, but only for having to accomplish something that I needed to do for, behind the scenes for the show. So like linking the Free Talk Live Facebook to the Free Talk Live Twitter. I had to go in to get that done. But I didn't look at the feed. I didn't go and, look at other people's pages or, whatever. So I feel good that I've successfully quit Facebook. Going on here, she says, on another note, it's my understanding that some free staters are questioning their support for Shire Sharing. Now, that's the charity that she created and ultimately was supported 99.99% probably by all free staters and libertarians in the state. So she says, questioning their support for shire sharing because of my position on this issue. Shire sharing has always been and always will be a project meant to honor my dad's memory. In my youth, I was duped into allowing libertarians to commandeer the project in an effort to make...
In her youth, she was like 28.
Yeah. In an effort to make their own community seem more wholesome than it is.
Okay, so it's one socialist and 70 libertarians. So, yeah, we're making it look like it's about us because that has nothing to do with us, clearly.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure what she means by commandeer. She's been in charge of shire sharing the entire time, as I understand it.
Publicity from it.
Sure.
Because
which she did.
We're the ones.
She was the one promoting it. She was the one getting the publicity. She was the one talking about voluntary solutions to to societal problems. She was the one doing those interviews. She was the one running the organization. Now, maybe she brought people in to help, and certainly she did, because there were hundreds of volunteers that were involved in this across the state. It's a big operation. They feed hundreds of people. And it used to have a libertarian message, apparently not so much anymore. And so now some libertarians are looking to boycott the thing. She says, going on here, that it's an effort to make their own community seem more wholesome than it is. In reality, libertarianism appeals to very unwholesome people, among them child molesters, rapists, and sexual assaulters, very mentally unstable people, murderers, and so forth. More coming
So
up
what does
here.
that make her?
855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want. It's Free Talk Live.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA-packed technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. fullycookedbacon.com.
Free Talk Live.
There are certain cultures in the world that when they get up every day, the first thing they say is death to America. I don't know why. That's just how they feel about it.
Why do you think someone would be so angry, so dedicated, that they might be willing to sacrifice their own life to destroy the people of a country that are half a world away? Why do you think that would be?
Well, capitalism and our democratic system is counter to things that they believe in.
Has nothing to do with bombs being dropped on their countries?
Let's look at who started that. Are we supposed to not defend ourselves?
Wow. Do you think the world just
began organizing globally to attack us?
Do you
in any
think
way
the world started on 9/11? Do you really believe that the United States was the victim in this world conflict?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up whatever you want. On the radio here, our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We like the Zencash, zencash.com. You can go and learn more about a cryptocurrency founded in 2017 that took some of the best technology out there, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and they're creating a secure platform for money and messages that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Now, look, I don't know if Zencash is going to set the world on fire. It'd be nice if it did, but I can't predict a winner. I don't know who's going to rise to defeat Bitcoin, but I do suspect that Bitcoin's days are numbered at the top of the charts these days, given how slow and broken it appears to be. Zencash is, I think, an interesting option because it's actually founded by voluntarists, people who care about liberty. And they created a currency that's dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. To me, the viewpoints of the creators of a thing when it comes to cryptocurrency matter. You got over 1,400 cryptos out there from which you can choose to purchase. So how do you pick the ones that you like? Well, you should look at this one, zencash.com. Again, that's zencash.com. So the final statement here from former libertarian, now turned leftist, on the attack against libertarians, Amanda Bolden, who is now who has been a state representative here in New Hampshire, who moved here as part of the Free State Project, and represented herself very well and very convincingly as a libertarian for quite a long time here, until now finally turning against the very people who helped her move here and who helped her out with her family and moving around the state, and in so many different ways patronized her business. She sold ice cream for years at the Porcupine Freedom Festival without a government permit. So I mean, a lot of people gave her their money and their time and their effort, and now she's attacking them. She says that she was duped into allowing libertarians to commandeer her Shire Sharing charity, which helps feed people during the Thanksgiving season. She says that it's an effort to make their own community, they being libertarians, seem more wholesome than it is. In reality, libertarianism appeals to very unwholesome people, among them child molesters, rapists, and sexual assaulters, very mentally unstable people, murderers, and so forth. Hold on. Is she suggesting that Democrats and Republicans don't have those categories within their ranks?
Well, I mean, and if she was in this, however honest it was or not, she was in this community for some time. So what does that say about herself? And if she didn't want us to, quote, commandeer her event, then why was she at the Quill and on our libertarian pages?
She claimed she was duped.
And all these. Then why was she saying, hey, libertarians, come work at my event?
Because she was agreed with us at that time, and she believed she was duped by us.
Well, that's not being duped. That's getting what you ask for.
Well, yes, I see what you're saying. She's butthurt here, obviously. Going on, she says, for all that, just before I go on, actually, so the claim of the child molesters, rapists, murderers, and all that. Yeah, you can look back at recent history of people who've been involved with the liberty movement, who've claimed to be libertarians, and you can find out that, there's some hypocrites, there's some scam artists, there's some liars, there's some bad people that came here and acted as though they were libertarian in order to, get into a roommate situation and then steal all their video games, which is what one guy did. And he got outed at Porkfest for his theft, and he subsequently left town.
Well, yeah, and because we don't vet people good enough, but when there's an ongoing problem, we usually deal with them, unlike most communities, and so. But that's an ad hominem. That's still a logical. That has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not libertarianism is a valid idea or invalid idea. You could find horrible people that support or oppose pretty much any value system you want to come up with.
Absolutely.
You should judge it on its own merits, not with the people that she chose to hang around with.
The people are fallible. The people are going to, even if they, aren't bad people are going to make mistakes. They're going to be inconsistent. They're going to be hypocritical on some things. And to some extent, you've got to be willing to work with folks, even if they aren't perfect.
Yeah, and she was hanging out with, subpar libertarians. If she wanted to find good libertarians to hang out with, she could have done that. She was up here long enough. But instead, she chose to smoke weed and tile.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with smoking weed. There's plenty of good libertarians who smoke weed.
They don't usually do it in the driveway of a rep's house, which was going to be the end of that sentence.
Who cares where they smoke the weed? I mean, that really doesn't matter. But
it's a signal of how intelligent you are.
But the fact is, look, it's fine when your liberty movement is 5 people and you know who they all are. Like where I came from, you knew who everybody was because there was hardly anybody who was a libertarian, and so everybody knew each other. But when you start to get numbers, when you start to grow a group, you start to attract people you don't know. You start to attract people who might be a scam artist, might be lying to you.
Yeah, like you might attract Amanda Bolden.
Or, well, again, you're suggesting that she was being fake the whole time. I don't think there's any evidence for that.
The only thing I ever saw, and maybe she was.
We don't need to rehash it. We did a lot on that before. Anyway, you're going to attract people who aren't what they say they are. You're going to attract people who've come into your movement specifically to sabotage it, as a matter of fact, once you become big enough. Like, look at the Libertarian Party. They've been taken over by a bunch of right-wing conservative lights who've come in there and have elected Gary Johnson as their presidential candidate twice in a row. And so, there's plenty of examples of how this happens. Going on, she says, for all that libertarianism claims to idealize, its tenets attract people who wish to harm others. No, absolutely not. There's no more percentage of freaks or murderers or rapists or whatever within the libertarian community than there are in any other community anywhere else. You get thousands of people together, you're going to find some bad eggs among those thousands of people. I'm also going to take issue
with the plural form of tenets. There is one tenet of libertarianism, and that is the non-aggression principle.
That's a good point.
If she's talking about some other tenets, she's not talking about libertarianism.
She says, who harm others and who long for an environment in which they can live out their dark desires. For a long time, my own mental health was harmed by my interactions with such people. I'm relieved to be spending time with a more compassionate group of people today. If there are others who have questions or concerns that might be addressed by what I've written here, I'm comfortable with this message being shared. So there's her claim that now her new group of friends, they're truly compassionate people. These people who presumably she's talking about the Democrats because she was elected as a Democrat. She ran, as a liberty-oriented Democrat, supposedly, and then proved that she doesn't really understand liberty or at the very least has actively rejected it. But again, the claim being that her new friends are the true compassionate ones because they want to use the violence of government against other people to show how compassionate they are. So they can then take money by the threat of force through government coercion, government threats, and violence. And then they can use that money to help people. And she believes that that's the more compassionate position. She believes that that's compassion.
Oh, the only thing I've ever seen Amanda Bolden support was Amanda Bolden. So this doesn't really, I guess her new husband, this time around doesn't make a lot of money. I don't know. So she's just going to do what's convenient for her at the time. That's the only thing I've ever seen from her. That's the only thing I really expect to see.
Well, and that's what you should expect from politicians in general, to be cowardly, to do what's convenient, to try to promote themselves and all of that. It's just, it doesn't make that it doesn't make this any less sad. Longtime listeners of the show will remember her being on this program and talking about voluntary solutions to societal problems.
And okay, so if you remember her as someone who actually was an anarchist at some point, then yeah, this is really sad.
It is.
I guess that's just kind of hard for me to see because
I understand.
The only
you didn't
thing
know
I've
her.
ever seen from her was just opportunistic.
Yeah, but you moved up here while she was a politician, right? You moved up within the last, 3 years?
15, so yeah.
So yeah, coming up on your 3-year anniversary this summer, I would guess. So at that time, she was already elected to office and had started being corrupted and losing her sight of her principles. So the old Amanda was this like cheerful, happy young lady who, yeah, she was a single mother, but she made it work. She wasn't starving or anything like that. And now she's completely embraced the state. Or at the very least, embrace the state for her purposes. She still sounds like she's good against the war on drugs, so she'll still be right on some of the issues, just like some of the other broken clocks are right.
I've never met or heard of anybody who's wrong on every issue.
But she's wrong on the moral aspect. She's wrong on the use of aggressive force, and what a shame. More coming up here in moments. If you want to join us, you can take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live, 855-450, free.
Thinking about getting into cryptocurrency? It's time you looked into Dash. Dash is digital money that you can use to send instant and private payments anywhere for pennies. Dash offers a decentralized network where miners are rewarded for keeping it strong and safe. Dash has made a huge impact in the crypto world. Start your journey. Check out dash.org for more information and get in now on the future of cryptocurrency. Dash.org.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Moments remain. There's enough time here if you want to join us toll free at 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. If you like freedom, if you like liberty, if you like peace, if you like cryptocurrency, and you like this show, you probably appreciate the fact that we're on over 160 radio stations from coast to coast. You like the fact that we've got a podcast, we've got internet streaming, we've got people listening all around the globe. And that means new people finding out about the ideas of liberty. And if that's worth something to you, we would love to have you get behind the show as a Free Talk Live amplifier, which you can do over at amp.freetalklive.com. And you can do it for $5 a month. And you can use any major credit card. You can use PayPal. You can use Bitcoin Core if you like. So once again, go to amp.freetalklive.com. You can get signed up there, and you can help Free Talk Live get on more radio stations all around the country and spread the ideas of freedom and liberty so we can bring new people to the ideas of the non-aggression principle and peace and all the stuff that we talk about here on Free Talk Live. You'll get perks, too, like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only Facebook group, the AMP-only new badge that we have for the Free Talk Live forum. That will be applied to you if you would like. And now there's a new AMP perk, which is the AMP status on the new Discord chat room. Or I should say chat rooms, because it's a chat server with several different rooms in which you can speak. There's a cryptocurrency room, there's gaming, there's general discussion and more. There's show-specific ones like Free Talk Live and Call to Freedom. And people are in there right now as we speak. We've handed out a couple of moderator badges at this point because I had to go in and, unfortunately, I had to ban the first people tonight from the server as we were being attacked with basically porn spam in the channels. So we have to create some rules. I knew that would come soon. I just didn't know how soon it would be happening. But you as an amplifier get special access to the Discord server, so you get actually special access to an AMP-only chat room with other supporters of the show. So in order to get that, just shoot me a message on Discord with your AMP email address. So if you're already an amplifier or if you're brand new signing up right now at amp.freetalklive.com, just shoot me a message on the Discord and I will apply the new tag or the new class or status to your account. And it is that simple. So to sign up for the AMP program, just go to amp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com. And also, if you haven't checked out the new Discord yet, it's happening. It's happening now. It's going on 24 hours a day. There's people in there. And there's usually some level of chat happening throughout the day. So it's not just during our live show. It's pretty cool. Check it out at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm as we go to your phone calls and thoughts. Sarah is on the line in New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
You know, it's getting close to allergy season. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go right ahead. We got you now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's getting to be close to allergy seasons, and I suffer very much from allergies here in New Mexico. But you know the pink Himalayan salt lamps.
What?
I have
salt lamps.
Okay,
salt lamps.
Yeah, but it's pink colored. It's Himalayan. It's mostly from
What does a
Himalaya.
salt lamp do exactly? I don't know anything about it.
It depends on which psychic you ask.
Well, the thing is, what it has is that I'm calling in because when I first saw that thing in the catalog, I thought it was a big scam because it was supposed to clean the air of dust and pollen. I said, oh yeah, right, some salt with a light bulb on it. But
that sounds like a load of crap.
I know, that's what I said, but I got 8 of those. I got about like 7 or 8 in my apartment now because it does help my allergies.
Now, are these like candles, or what is inside these things?
Well, you know what? So either you could put candles or a light bulb, either way.
Okay.
Whatever works for you.
So this is just to clarify, this is a light bulb. According to Amazon here, they've got the Himalayan Glow salt lamp here, and this is one of the pink lamps actually. That has a 25-watt light bulb in there, and then it's just some sort of salty housing that it's in.
Like that. Usually, the ones that I have is that what they do is they take a piece of salt and then they dig out a hole in the middle, and that's where they put the salt. And what it does is it actually causes the oxygen to pick up an extra ion. And somehow when it does that, it actually makes the pollens and the dust to collect together, and then it becomes heavy and it falls to the ground. So that's the actual science behind it.
I don't know if I'm going to take...
Yeah, that's not really how molecules work.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't sound very sciencey to me, Sarah.
It just seems a lot more likely to me that you have allergies that are on and off, because you don't have allergies all the time, right?
No, only allergies. Right. The pollen count gets to be a lot during like April.
So they're on and off. And then you bought this lamp, you've only had it for a very short amount of time, and then it happens to coincide with a time when your allergies were kind of lower. That is just exceptionally more likely.
No, I had these lamps for the last 4 years. I leave it on all year round. I have 7 or 8 of right now going on right now. But I really feel it during allergy season when I'm outdoors.
Right.
I'm dripping out of my nose once I get into my house.
So there's something.
Okay, but you don't have pollen inside your house.
Well, you could, I guess.
Let
the door open or the windows or something.
My house. No, I do get pollen inside my house.
Let's go. I know you don't have access to the internet, so you are more likely to fall victim to scam artists, and your initial response here, Sarah, of disbelief was probably the right one. Being skeptical of claims that are put forth is always a good idea, and then investigating those claims. But in order to investigate a claim, you have to have resources with which you can do that investigation, and you don't have access to the internet, and you're not interested in the internet. So, you could go to the library. I guess everybody has access. They could go to a public place like the library.
Well, not everybody, but most people have access.
Unless you're crippled, you can't. You can go to the library and use the internet there, right? Unless you're completely bedridden. Okay, what I wanted to tell you here was in 2 seconds, or as many seconds as it took me to type in salt lamp hoax, I found a story from Today.com where they interviewed Dr. Svetlana Kogan of New York City, who specializes in holistic and integrative medicine. So this is a lady who's into this stuff, right? She says, quote, "There has been some talk in the holistic community about the fact that electromagnetic radiation from cell phones, from microwaves, from computers creates positive ionization of our body. The talk has been that the negative ions supposedly produced by the salt lamps help to neutralize the positive charge. But to be honest with you, I haven't seen any large studies that would confirm this."
But the thing is, I feel better, and I have 8 of them in my house, or why would I get it? Okay, that's the study. I breathe better. I feel better. I'm in a better mood.
Yeah, it's probably all a placebo effect, but as long as it's working for you, I say right on, and more power to you there, Sarah. Thanks for the call tonight. They're not going to probably cause you any harm. It's going to increase your power bill a little bit if you're running 8 25-watt salt lamps around the clock.
That's not that much electricity in dollars.
200 watts at all times. It's probably, it's probably $15 a month or something like that. I don't know what electricity costs down there, but it would lower your power bill if you didn't have all those salt lamps on.
I don't think there's any harm in having salt, unless it's which I don't think it does attract bugs or anything like that. No. So I don't see how it's harmful, but it's not magic.
No, the only harm is that you've spent money on something that probably is not really doing what it says that it's going to do, but that's not going to harm you in any kind of meaningful way unless you get kicked out of your house because you can't pay the rent. But Sarah doesn't pay rent. She's on welfare, so she doesn't have to worry about that. A little bit more here about salt lamps. Simply put, according to Today.com, all those health benefits are too good to be true. Quote, "Whenever somebody is promising you the world, it starts sounding very suspicious to me," said the holistic expert. Quote, I have never once in my career recommended a salt lamp to a patient, said an allergist, Dr. Julie Koryowski. She said further, I'm not saying it doesn't work, it's just not very well studied. In connection between salt and the connection between salt and respiratory problems isn't so far-fetched. Dr. Koryowski said, quote, in theory, where salt goes, water goes. You can somehow thin out mucus with salt, but with the salt lamps, I don't think the data is there. She says, I love the way they look. The soft light, the pure aesthetic of them is beautiful, but ultimately, no evidence.
Yeah, and I mean, Google Scholar, if anything, would be the place where you would usually go to get actual scientific
studies?
information.
They got studies up there or something?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I mean, you're not going to get everyone for free, but it's going to at least list them, and you can either access it or you can't.
Get like a summary maybe or something?
Yeah, which still isn't as good as like talking to an actual scientist, but you don't always have access to that. But if the holistic practitioner is saying it's BS, it's BS.
It's BS. All right, we're out of time for tonight. You can join us tomorrow between now and then over at freetalklive.com. And don't forget to check out Melanie and her tax preparation service for you. Hire her. She's an anarchist. Go to tax.freetalklive.com, and we'll see you tomorrow online in the meantime. freetalklive.com.
It's been
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.